And good morning, virtual top performers. And we've had just some amazing success. We have over $1 million just that I know of that you shared with me and top performers and virtual top performers, which we're doing together that we have over $1 million of real estate. I just heard from one of you yesterday that you landed a cash deal and it's actually closing next week. And see, those are the amazing things as we get into our joy shop, as we get clear about what we do want and are in our joy shop and are able to start declaring the things that we want, that you'll see that you literally have the whole universe, God, all that is helping you and is working on your behalf, gathering all of your desires for you. And so, like I shared, we have over $1 million worth of business and just some remarkable out of the blue situations that some people meeting some people that they wanted, were looking for their best friend, soulmate, best lover and they found that person. Another person had some physical ailments and they were able to overcome that. So you are all powerful and you are learning a process that literally you can create a thriving business, a thriving life, good health, better relationships, and get everything that you've asked for. Ask and you shall receive. And later on today, we're going to talk about that is what happens. I've been asking for my stuff, if you will, and, I'm not getting it. I'm not receiving it. And I'm going to show you the actual process on why that is and how you can start now allowing the things that you've asked for into your life. So we're going to have a rocking time here. And our agenda is going to be, we're going to first look at our beliefs. And so, we've been told it is done unto you as you believe. And in this 1 hour today, you're going to understand that most of your beliefs aren't even your own, yet it's done unto you as you believe. So you're getting a lot of stuff in your life, if you will, that you really didn't want. It was somebody else that wanted it. So we're going to talk about what a belief is, where most of our beliefs come from, the path to beliefs that serve you, and so how to start reestablishing yourself. And you have the power, and this is just critical to understand that, a lot of people say, oh, it's my beliefs my belief system is I was brought up in this society or in this family or, went to this school or whatever the case be. But the good news is that you can trump any belief. You can overcome any belief and have all of your dreams come true. And I'm going to share with you how you can do that today. We're going to then look at the 5 steps of creation. How do you get what you want? And so it goes from asking to receiving, and I'm going to share with you those 5 steps. And that all I can share with know is this, that when people go through this and they apply and they just say, you know what, I'm just going to believe this stuff for the next month. And that's about how long we're going to be together, because we have 2 more sessions. But just for everybody's notes, that we do not meet next Wednesday. Instead, we meet on the 13th, and then we graduate on the 20th. And so those are 2 more weeks. So you have a couple of weeks now to be able to go through all this wonderful information that I've been sharing with you and to really start applying it. And this is the week that it really starts coming all together, and you will start seeing even more out of the blue things happening to you, being the attractor, the magnet that you are. I'm going to show you how to shine up that magnet, if you will, and make it even more powerful. We're then going to talk about a process called episode intending. And so it's a very specific process that will really be incredible to you. Like, you'll be in awe over this, on how you can start calling it on the next episode in your days. So right now, for example, you can call for, this is going to be an enlightening and awakening time today in Virtual Top Performers. And you'll see that it is, because when you ask, you will then be guided to the perfect thoughts. You'll listen to the words. You'll be able to embrace and have an open mind mind and open heart to this information. And so it's a remarkable, a fantastic hands-on way for you to start having your day be like you want, in addition to the Joy Shop. I'm creating it initially in the Joy Shop in the morning. And then we'll look at our ideal referral partnerships. And again, this is the most effective way in order to build your business. And so I would encourage each one of you to think about, who else do I know that I could go and meet with? And then we'll go through the steps again for the ideal referral partnerships. But I'm sharing with you, there are people out there. I right now am coaching with one agent that's $1 million agent. She was closing one deal every 2 months, and she's now closing 4 to 5 on her own per month. And then she now is building a team and doing another 4 or 5 and making, some money on all of that. But she's all doing it through referral partners. She has so much business that she needs to hire or have other agents in order to help her, because she has that much business. And so just know that as you decide, yep, this is what I'm going to do. And, we're coming up on July 4th weekend here. And actually July 4th can be a very busy, a very productive a time for you, that people are wanting to, they have that extra time. There's not like, what do you do on July 4th other than watch fireworks? Well, so people typically have a lot of time on their hands. So just expect this weekend to be the best weekend ever for your business or in your personal life with your family. All right, so let's take a look at and get into understanding what a belief is. And why is this important? Because it all starts with what our beliefs are is what's within us, and it's done onto us as we believe. And typically that comes from the root of all of that is to all of our success that we have is what our self-esteem is. And so most of us don't think about ourselves very well, because we have, again, been brought up or been told by exes or whatever that, we're not good. And the fact is that you are each just awesome, brilliant creators. And so taking a look at that, what beliefs basically are just thoughts that you've had often enough until you turn them into what you consider the truth. And so it could be on religion, it could be how you think you are with people's names, it could be a belief on how you think about yourself, about what you think about this world, that and the more that you can start focusing positively on everything, because again, you can look at this world, there's a billions of wonderful things that happened yesterday, but you could take a look at that one incident in Turkey and say, oh, the world was, going to hell. And the fact is, no, it's not. That there's way more things good than bad that are happening. And as you focus on the good, remember, this world is as easy as this. It has everything you want and everything you don't want. And so you get to choose. Are you going to focus on the things you want, like a harmonious, wonderful people, or are you going to focus on things that you don't want, and especially things that are out of your control? You have no control over what happened in Orlando or Turkey or whatever, and any episode that is out of your control, all it is frustrating then if you're going to try to control that, and that you have the power to control your thoughts and your feelings. And so start thinking about, hey, I'm going to start focusing on those thoughts and feelings that make me feel good. And why is it so important to feel good? Because it's our communication system, and we're going to talk today about that in a few minutes. Now, I want to talk also about milking momentum. And so the path to everything that you want. So imagine kind of put your left hand out and high above you, and that's where you currently are. And then take your right hand and put it down to the right-hand side, and then just do imaginary line from the top of your left where you are to where you want to go. And why do I have it going downhill like that? Is because the fact is And we've been taught the opposite of this. We have a belief that's opposite of this. But I'm sharing with you that your source knows where you are, okay, that left hand up there, where you're going, that right hand down lower, and then that invisible line going from your left hand to your right hand going down, that is that God knows, your source knows, the path of least resistance to get there, the fastest and easiest way. So it wants to guide you. You have asked, here you are, and you've asked, this is where I want to go. And it's a path of least resistance. We've been told to believe that, hey, it's the hard path. I got to work hard. I got a lot of hours. I can't spend much time with my family. That there's not enough opportunity. There's not enough inventory out there, whatever. And when you start thinking about not enough, that you're going to build another path, but it's the path of most resistance, and it's going uphill. And I'm sharing with you today that, and to understand that none of your desires are uphill. It's kind of like all of us have been swimming in this river, and we've been swimming upstream. And, we've been going one arm after the next, one stroke after the next stroke, swimming upstream, trying to get to what we want, trying to get to that happiness, trying to get to that life of our dreams. And that, for the most part, most of us, by the time we're about 33 years old, that we're tired. We're fed up, and we don't even, in fact, for most of us, our dream machines have been broken because we say, hey, I have that dream, but because of these circumstances or this or that or whatever, or my asking and I never received it, that I give up. And now in this moment, this is the time for you to say, hey, this is a new whole life for me. This is a new day for me, a new beginning for me. And I'm going to start dreaming big. And now you're going to have information that's going to help you to get to where you want to be and to that happiness. So you want to think about milking momentum. When you're feeling good, you want to milk that. And so you just want to continue to think more and more thoughts, because that positive momentum then creates cooperative components that will come to you where you'll have more harmonious people. So it doesn't matter what the subject is. So as long as you're feeling good, and let's say you're feeling good about your relationship with whoever, your partner or whatever, and you're feeling good and you're thinking about that because you are, more positive, good things will come into your life. For example, out of the blue, you'll get a phone call that, hey, my business is, now my business is starting to be good, and that it's just this momentum. So you want to build in your life this positive momentum that most of us, even when we start on that road of positive momentum, we go, oh, it's too good to be true. And then you're right. And then you won't have any more of that positive momentum. And so you need to monitor and realize that you're calling forth whatever you want. And typically you say, but it's the truth. In the past, whenever things got good, that then something went wrong and everything went to hell. And so you want to look at, hey, that's only because I had that belief, because I didn't maintain that momentum and that positive thoughts, and thus it did go bad. Similarly, on the opposite, on the flip the coin, it's when you've had a bad day and you go, oh, it just can't get any worse than this, because you're thinking worse than this, that it becomes worse than this. And so we've all been there where we've had it, hey, but we've been both places, but most of us retain the place and remember the place about can't get any worse than this, and then it does. But remember those days, those moments where, wow, it was really great, and then it got even better. Well, those moments, you could start creating more and more of those as you milk this positive momentum. So most of our beliefs are not our own, and we're going to get into that and whose beliefs are they if they're not our own. Yet we have been told, and it is true, that it is done unto you as you believe. So what has happened is it has been done unto us as not as we have wanted, but it's been done unto us as others have wanted. So they had good intentions, but basically our parents and teachers, whoever, that basically everybody is looking to feel better. and what they want. And so people will have a tendency to, and they have this belief that if you do what they say, that they'll feel better. And in fact, it really isn't that way. It's that I can feel good on my own without any exterior thing. And if I start relying on the exterior world, good luck. People are changing every moment. So if you rely on the outside world, that you won't be able to ever catch up to the outside world because it's changing all the time, and you have to rely on you within you. So let's take a look at where beliefs come from. And they come from all over the place, up, down, and all around, starting with our parents. And so we literally, as we were born into this world, that we're observing our parents all the time. We're picking up mannerisms that they've done all the time. Here's a fun little story that comes to mind about this on how we just continue to do generation after generation. We continue to have same mannerisms, same type of economic situation, same type of, if there's abuse, for example, same type of abuse goes from generation to generation. But one cute little story on this is this little girl comes up to her mom and says, "Hey, Mom, why do you take the roast and why do you cut off both ends of the roast?" On both ends, the roast. The mom had cut off. And she said, "I really don't know. Let's ask your grandma." So they go to grandma and they say, "Grandma, why did you cut off the both ends of the roast on both sides there?" And the grandma said, "I really don't know, but my mom always did it." So now it's this little girl's great grandmother, okay? And so they go to the great grandmother and they say, "Hey, great grandmother," and she's 93 years old, whatever, still in good health. And they say, "Why did you cut off the ends of the roast?" And she goes, "Oh, well, back in the day when she was growing up, that they only had a small pan. And so for the roast to fit in the pan, they would cut off both ends." And so the fact is, you don't have to cut off both ends for better cooking or whatever. It's only able to, because to fit in the pan. But we do this like your mannerisms. If I went to your grandmother or your grandfather, we would see same mannerisms on the way that you speak, way that you are. So we're getting a lot of the things that we were picking up their vibration, their emotion of our parents. And we were observing that there was kind of nothing else going on, it was mainly our parents. And so we observed our parents. And that's why, like maybe you said to yourself, "I'm never going to be like my parents." And then you have kids and, you find yourself, "Hell, I'm just like my dad or my mom or whatever." And this happens because of we are just observing and we're not thinking on our own, especially when we initially awaken. And then there's other influences. There's our teachers that influenced us and shared things with us. There's the news. Again, I'm a big proponent on, since I can't control any of that news, and since that news, every news station, it searches the world for something bad to say, because that's all sensational and people are getting more ratings. I'm sharing with you that if more of us would watch TV programs that, are more satisfying, are more harmonious, etc., and ratings would go up, they would do that. But they're doing, so we in essence created this ourselves on the news, at all these sensational things, and all these things we can't handle. I can't handle some police activity that happened in my city. I can't handle something, some terrorist act outside. The only thing I can really manage is me, my thoughts and my feelings. And so I would suggest to all of you not to watch the news, because according to the news, the world is a bad place and it's getting worse. And the fact is, it's a better place, a good place, and getting better. And if you just look around, that you'll see that the poverty levels have continued to increase. Now there's less poverty throughout the world, that there's more wealth, more people are moving into the middle class, that we have a whole library of information sitting in the palm of our hand with our cell phones. We have toilets and running water and electricity. And I mean, the list is just endless on how great this world is. And so you have a choice on whether or not you're going to make this world great for yourself or not. And it doesn't matter what condition you're currently under, what situation you're currently under. As you start thinking better thoughts, that you'll start thriving, and then all the people around you will also thrive. Other places, your committee. Remember, 2 weeks ago, we talked about that committee in your head, that fear, worry, doubt, shame, blame, complaining, that all of those things, that is within your control. Remember, you can trump all of these beliefs by just thinking about things that you want. So if you want to write down something right now, and how do I trump my beliefs, is I just start focusing and thinking only about what I want to be, who I want to be, what I want to be, do, and have. And as you think about what will be, you're going to start getting more of the things that you do want, versus most of us are looking at what is, what's happening, and then we just get more of what's happening. And we say, hey, life's kind of boring or whatever, that, or maybe not boring, maybe it's, hey, it just gets worse and worse or whatever, that, and the fact is that life and your life is getting better and better. Church. And so all of the churches, for all of the church, there's good in everything. Literally every particle in the universe, there's either the wanted or the unwanted. And that church is very good for some people, just, love church, and no matter what the religion is, that it works for them. And that's just awesome. Just know that is other people's beliefs. Like, so if you take, most of us were born Christian, that, we're told we're sinners. Well, we don't even understand that the word sin just meant that our thoughts were off target. It was an archery term back there. But we have this, that we're sinners, and that, and so we need to do something. Well, all you need to really do is be like Christ. In fact, all of this teaching is Christ's teaching, that, but put in different words, because basically it's, hey, go and love one another and do not judge. And so for us to be judging about what's going on, what is, and what happened in the past to dictate where we want to go, then we're not going to get to where we want to go if we do that. School is another place. Our friends, that this is another thing I want you to give up, is don't honor the God, with a little g, the God of other people's opinion. We all care so much about what other people think, and it doesn't matter what other people think. Well, the only thing that's important is what you're thinking. And so to be aware of that. And then family. And there can be heavy pressure without knowing it, from family, about how you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to be doing, that, and the fact is you're the only one with the answers to all of that. And I'm going to show you where those answers are. So where is the truth? Well, we missed one place. So we had all these beliefs. We've had all these beliefs, and they're all outside of us, and they have all come into us. And we basically, after about, the creativity of a baby is just remarkable. And they measured the creativity of children, and by the time they were age 4, that they're by the time they were age 7, that only 4% of those babies that are now children are very creative. And the reason why is we just have basically, we figured out, not correctly, but we figured out, if we just don't go with the flow, that we're going to be, get all this grief. And so we just finally just gave up on our creativity. So I want you, another great thing and to write down, is that I want to expand my imagination. I want to expand my creativity. And as you start sharing those type of thoughts with yourself, that you'll see, and you're going to see here, that It's not your responsibility on how to do this, that you just need to identify what you want, and then God's going to do all the how. So when you ask to be more creative, you just ask, and you will see that you'll start becoming more creative. You can do this on anything, that I have a good memory, I'm good with names, that I'm a master of time management, I love myself. And that is just one of the, that is the most powerful thing you could start saying to yourself is, if you recall, I shared with you, your self-esteem, what you believe about yourself, is the root of who you end up becoming. And one way to trump all of the old beliefs about you're a sinner and you're no good, children should be heard, or should be seen and not heard, and all of these other things that have happened. Our peer groups have been, for some of us, have been just awful to us. And so the best way to do that is, and starting today, just say, I love myself. I love myself. I love myself. And as you start saying, I love myself, then that's what's going to start happening, and what's going to crop up is, hey, by you loving yourself, that you're going to become more creative, that you're going to attract more harmonious people, you're going to attract more business, etc., by you just simply saying that one affirmation. So there's we can receive infinite knowledge and the truth. And the truth lies within you, and it is our feelings, our guidance system from our source, from God, whatever. So I'm going to share with you a little story. You don't have to take it necessarily as literally, but just imagine that you were just this energy and this consciousness, and you said, oh, I just can't wait to get back to this place called Earth, because it's just so fabulous. It has all the contrast that I want, everything I don't want, everything I do want. And when I rub up against what I don't want, that births ideas into what I do want. And so you said, I just can't wait to birth myself. And like Oprah says, that you are already have self-esteem, you are already worthy, and you're worthy because when you're born here, you are instantly worthy. And so why is that? Because you took consciousness and you wanted to so much want to come here that you took part of that energy of you and transformed it into this body, into this being. So back to kind of the story. So before you came down here, you said to God, hey, how are we going to communicate with each other? And again, it didn't quite go like this, but how are we going to communicate with each other? And God says, hey, real easy. It's not going to be Spanish. It's not going to be English, no language at all. I have the perfect communication system for you, and that is through your feelings. That when you feel bad, that's me knocking on your door, knocking on your heart, knocking on your mind, and saying to you, this is what you don't want. This isn't on your path. You're not thinking about this topic the way I am. Since every particle has wanted or unwanted, in this case, when I feel bad, it means I'm looking at that subject, that particle, that situation, whatever, as when I feel bad, it means I'm not thinking about this the way that God is. So that when I do feel bad, that then births on what do I want. And so, for example, you had a bad deal. A deal went south. The client was motivated. They weren't, very they didn't have enough money. They had bad credit. They lied to you, whatever. You spent all this time. And so instead of thinking about, oh, I can't believe that person used me that way and getting all upset, instead what you do is you just look at that situation, say, that's what I don't want. And then you ask, what do I want? And that will birth to you, and you will come into your mind, literally, thoughts from God, thoughts from heaven, if you will come into your mind on what you do want. And so in this example, I want to have motivated employee motivated clients, that I want clients with good credit. I want clients that are honest. I want clients that do what I ask them and I suggest to them. And so you could just go into this rampage of thought of what you want, and that creates the energy to call forth into your life, being this magnet through your thought, creates the energy in order to bring you the better deal, the better client, the more money, the person that you want in your bed, the health that you're looking for, whatever the case be. So know that within you is your feelings, is your guidance system to everything that you want. You don't need to open up another book. You don't need to ask anybody's opinion about anything anymore, because you have God's opinion sitting right within you, and all you have to do is monitor your feelings. And when you're feeling bad, wake up to that and say, hey, whatever I'm thinking about is not the way God's thinking about it. And what does this birth? And what do I want? And if you can't birth a good idea, if the situation is just so troublesome for you, that then think about something else. Go take a nap, go walk the dog, go walk in the park. That being in nature is a great way in order to be able to overcome this. So start monitoring and realizing that, and by the way, in this society, we have been told, don't pay attention to your feelings. Well, my gosh, don't pay attention to God, in essence. And they didn't realize that they were saying that, but this is truly the truth with a capital T. So good feelings indicate that I'm on my lighted path. So when you're feeling good, you're on your lighted path. And that as far as decisions are concerned, just make a decision, because whatever decision you make, that can be your path of least resistance, because you'll be guided from that point, and that puts you at a different point than, that left hand saying, here's where I'm at. You make a decision, and here's where I'm at, and here's where I want to go. And Source, God, will find the path of least resistance right into everything that you have wanted. So ask yourself, what do I want? And so that question is just powerful, because you will be answered. Your prayer is every day your thought, not just when you're on hands and knees and your hands folded or in church. That your prayer is your thought. And so you don't want to sin, that, which means, again, not thinking the way. So how do I know when I'm a sinner? When I'm feeling bad. Okay. That means I'm not thinking about this. I'm off target, and I want to be on target. And then you shall be answered, and you shall know the truth. But you have to believe that what you're being told, the thoughts that come to you, are from, in fact, God. That here's the difference between geniuses and people, whether it's Einstein or Christ or anybody that you highly admire, that the difference between them and most people is they believed when they got their intuition, when they got this thought, that they then acted upon it and had this inspired action to move forward. That, Mozart was deaf most of his life, and he wrote perfect symphonies. How do you do that? We did it all in his mind. And the formulas, MC squared, and all these formulas that came to Einstein, where those come from, that literally he said, hey, I would just, dream. I'd use my thoughts and just dream, and all of a sudden these formulas would come. And so that the only difference between you and the genius, you and the billionaire, or whatever it is that you want to be successful in, is for you to start believing in whatever your gut says, whatever your intuition says, and start asking, because you will be answered. And again, the answer might not be to your logical mind make much sense, but to your divine mind, it is perfect. So the path to your beliefs. We were taught others' beliefs that they created, and then you created this into your belief. And so you might have said, your parents might have said, well, you got to get a college education and work hard. Because why? Because I just saw my dad get a college education, work hard. So you think this is the path. But I know lots of people that have lots of money and don't have a college education and didn't work hard. And so your choice, who wants to work hard? Why not just have more fun? And the fact is you can. And that's why you want to change your vocabulary, get rid of that work word and use play, and get rid of busy, and you could use productive maybe. But and stop saying to yourself, I don't have enough time, then you're just creating not enough time. Then start talking and thinking about what you do want. So your beliefs create your reality. So whatever I believe about myself, whatever I believe about the world, then that's what appears. And then I say, see, I told you so. And so you can believe whatever you want to, and why not change some of your beliefs? So this week, you're going to be actually working on what beliefs serve me, and then what beliefs do I have about me that don't serve me anymore. And I don't care if that belief happened 1,000 times before in your lifetime. It only happened and reoccurred because you believed it. So you have the power to trump and change your belief. So I create my reality through my beliefs, and my beliefs are just practice thought. So all I'm asking you to do now is practice thinking about what you want, about what will be. And as you do, it's only possible to get more of what you want and what you want to have become in your life, that it is only possible. That, and people, you can name all kinds of people that came from poor backgrounds or whatever, and, became the president of the United States, or there's literally, you can look all around you, and that, so it's not like they had anything special or different than you. What they had was they were just thinking and more focused on what they do want and what they wanted to become. And then they became that, or they discovered that, like Einstein, or they taught that, like Christ. And so it's all a matter of us to just practice thinking differently and saying, I love myself. I love that one. And so now I practice thoughts of what I want to be, do, and have in my life. And I would suggest you write that down, that's the thoughts that I practice. And any other thoughts where you're feeling bad, get off those thoughts and do what I call pivoting, and just kind of move slowly off of those thoughts and just think another thought more about, well, why would this person be that way? I had my wife Sharon. I like give personal examples because, hey, I'm living this life too, and just like you, and so Sharon was upset this morning over just this outside circumstances that neither one of us could control, and so she kind of left, mad, not really at me, but just kind of upset, whatever, and so initially I thought, oh man, why do we have to do this? And then I thought, no, that's what I don't want. Why was she? Well, she was, she was nervous about this, that she was uncertain about the situation, that she didn't feel good about the situation. And so I just literally changed my thoughts to where, oh, I love that girl, that I really understand where she's coming from now, and that, and I'm glad that she did that because it helped me to go through this whole thought process to get to good feeling thoughts that I wanted, good positive feeling thoughts of what I wanted. So this next screen is going to tell you how life works and how to create what you want. We've been told, ask and you shall receive. And there are 5 steps to that asking. And so here it is. And for you to understand this is basically all, and then just practice it is all you need in order to have all the things that you want. Step 1 is your thought. Remember in week 1, I shared with you that all scientists agreed that they said it went from thought to energy to matter, M-A-T-T-E-R. So in other words, thoughts become things. Well, they're kind of right. They just forgot God in this equation, or the universe in this equation. And so I'm adding in those 2 other steps, if you will, to understand on how 2 more steps to understand truly how it is. So your thought, you want to think only about what you want and why you want it. And I'm going to talk about the 5 W's and how The only two of the W's you're concerned with, what and why. And you need to get this positive momentum, this path of least resistance going for you, you need to think about that thought, about whatever you want for at least a minute, and with at least 4 thoughts that are contacted together, and sometimes those thoughts, you have some contrast, things you don't want, that helps birth that into the things that you do want. But you'll see as you come to that 4th thought, you'll all of a sudden get another thought about that, all of a sudden get another thought like that. So for example, I want a thriving business, a real estate business. So how do I get that? Well, I want to attract ideal clients. Who are my ideal clients? They're motivated, they're willing to do. How can I do that? I can do that with referral partners. Who's a referral partner? I'm going to think about somebody that I know, somebody that, is well connected, a friend that I'm just going to get out there and I'm going to start asking, because I know referral partners go great. And then what else do I want? Wow, I want great business partners like Columbus Capital Lending and with Tim Peters, and how to be able to, get the right loan. And now I have a call center, and Tim Peters with Columbus Capital Lending can give me a call center. And so you just keep on going, and you'll see that you'll start creating, that energy. So step 1 is ask with your thought. Step 2 is then your emotion. So when you are thinking something, you are literally sending out a signal of either what you want or what you don't want, depending on if you feel good or if you feel bad. So if you want a happier life, if you want to become more successful, all you need to do is think about what and why I want it, whatever it is that I want, what will be, and that's creating this energy that we call our emotions. So good, positive emotions send out this to the universe, and what you get back is your cup overfloweth, which means you're going to get back more than what you sent. You're going to get back more than what you asked for. And so that's why you want to start thinking and asking for more about what you want. And then the 3rd step is immediately God, your source, answers. So source does the how. It's not your job to figure out, how am I going to go get a referral partner? No, you say, I want a referral partner, and then all of a sudden you'll get a thought of a person's name. And so that's being answered. So every prayer that you've had, it has been answered, but you're saying, well, where's my stuff? I haven't seen it. I don't have the money in the bank, or person in the bed, or the good health, or whatever the case may be. I don't have the thriving business. And so what I've been asking, but where's my stuff? And where it has gotten clogged in your life and why you haven't received what you have asked for is this most important step. Step 4 is you have to believe it. That you have to believe that you have the power. Last time I shared with you on how I was able to actually have it rain. Now, when I say I asked for it, the how is God went and did that. There's no way I could figure that out. But with God, all things are possible. And so for you to, and what I really do, like in my coaching, is I do step 1 and step 4, because those 2 things are the only 2 things you need to control in order to be able to create everything that you want. So the first thing is your thought, to start changing your thinking, improving your thoughts, and then to allow, and I call it ABE, A-B-E, to allow, believe, and expect it. So expect a referral partner. Expect out of the blue a client to call you, a prospect to call you that becomes a client this week. If you can expect $1 million client, you'll get one. I had a lady that said, I need to have, that's in Top Performers, that said to me, I need to have a closing like by the 1st of July, because I just have to have the money, but that'll be impossible. And I said, why would you believe that? Everything is possible. Then why don't you ask for a closing by the beginning of July? And so she did, and she said, all right, I'll see how this is. And I kind of believe it. And so she went out, and she's the one that I shared with you initially, who went out and got a client that is a cash client and is closing next week. They were going to actually close tomorrow, but a little delay, and so they're closing next week on it. But that's all you need to do. So that's powerful there, my friends. and then receive. And that basically is manifested. Have it in your experience. So think about your thoughts. You know, we're so particular about what we're going to wear and how we look and how's our hair and how's our makeup and, you know, whatever. We're so particular about all that stuff. But typically, we're not very particular with our thoughts. And look at that. Step one is all we have to do is think about what we want and why we want it. So this page is just a fantastic page to understand the 5 W's and what's been happening and what has tripped you up, other than you not allowing it, that none of your desires rest upstream when you attempt to figure out the how. So it's God's job to figure out how you're going to go downstream, the path of least resistance to your desires. So your thoughts, out of the 5 W's, you determine what you want and why you want it. I want a thriving business. I love the money. It gives me more a variety, more options, more choices. I love helping people and serving people, and it makes me feel so good when I hand them the keys to the house and they're just so happy about that. And I love helping people with, you know, their mortgage, getting their mortgage, and being able to serve people, and starting a thriving business. And then that business will give me more referrals from those clients, and everything gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And so that is my thoughts. I want a thriving business, and then the what, and then the why. And as you get that energy, that's all you need. And then you need to have faith, though, and trust in that God's going to answer your prayers and do the who, when, and where. So who, when, and where out of the 5 W's, if you will, that's God's job. You've been taught most of your life. You got to figure out who it is, when it is, where it is, and you've been trying to do God's job, and that's going upstream, and you'll never get what you want. It's all downstream, and all you need to do is ask what I want and why I want it. And if that isn't powerful, this is, if you can just embrace this and understand, and wow, my thinking, I was getting into God stuff there. God's thinking about the who, when, where. So basically, the bottom line is the how is God's work. You just identify what you want and why you want it. Now, 2 ways to help you to train with your thinking, because remember, thoughts create everything that we have shared here. That the first one is visualizations. And if you can see it in your mind's eye, it'll appear in your experience. And so just be able to just visualize you on whatever that is. Maybe you visualizing, so it can be as clear as this, that you're going later on this afternoon to see a prospect, and you visualize on how you maybe don't even know what they look like, but you visualize on how great it is. You're laughing together. You're enjoying each other together. They're signing the contract together. They show you their great credit. That they got cash down, that they're just awesome. And so you visualize that. And then it'll happen. And you'll see that more and more things are going to start happening the way that you want them to. So what's in your mind's eye will appear. Another one is affirmations. And so affirm in the present tense. And the most 2 powerful words that you can use is I am. And so whatever you say, I am, and whatever after that is what you become. And so I am successful. I am happy. And so think about, what affirmations do I want to say to myself? And I shared one earlier with you, and that is, I love myself. So I put on like the refrigerator, I love myself, and put that on there, and maybe cut it out of a magazine or whatever, get a little sign made on it. But however it is, so that you can start touching your consciousness with it. On the mirror, write on the mirror whatever your affirmation is, and write it in like lipstick on the mirror. And every time you go to the mirror, boom, you're seeing that I am successful, that I am a master at time management, my business is thriving, I am wanting, so I am wanting more money. And so, and again, this idea of wanting, it's not like, oh, poor me, I need money. It's wanting. No, I am wanting more money. You're basically telling, you're the one. You have to start it all. Like I've had people say to me, well, I'm going to wait for God to make a decision, and good luck. You have to make the decision first in your mind on what makes you feel good, and then you'll know it's a godly decision. And so, but you have to make that decision, and then God will do the how. So affirmations, again, that I am wanting, I love myself, that, but in the present tense, and saying as if you are it now. Because if you say, like the word try, get that word out of your vocabulary. Try gives an excuse to what people say the subconscious, but gives you an excuse to not do it. That, I'm going to do this, that I am happy, that. So just think about affirmations and start putting them on the mirrors, on the refrigerators, in your time management system, on your phone, whatever, in order to keep on hitting your consciousness with what you want, and it will trump all of those other beliefs that no longer serve you. And instead, you'll be thinking and then having the essence of everything that you have asked for. So here's a great little thing, and this is on how to become a deliberate creator. And I call this episode intending. So it's episodes of your day to pause during the day. So, before you go out of your condo right now or whatever, your home, that think to yourself, hey, I want to have easy and smooth flowing travels, and I want to arrive early. And so that way it takes out all the traffic and, everything, because most of us, we're not even thinking about what we want. We're just going, do it. And then before you get to that meeting, so you park and you're at the meeting, and then you ask this: what is the best outcome that I want? What is the best, and I would write this down, what is the best outcome that I want? And again, you'll start being given answers. Wow, I'd like this person to do business with me. I'd like this person to be a client of mine. I want to get along well with this person. I want this person to be my ideal client. That I want this to be a great meeting, a fun meeting where we laugh. I want to laugh more. And so, and that's a great one. I want to laugh more and smile more. I'm laughing all the time during the day because I ask to laugh more. And then people say wonderful, funny things. I'm saying wonderful, funny things. And where's it all coming from? It's all godly because it's what I had asked for. So what is the best outcome that I want? And that episode intending will just be miraculous. It'll really waken you up to realize that, wow, I've been walking around in the fog, not being, intentional, not being deliberate, and living in the green zone. By episode intending just helps you to become this deliberate creator of what's the best outcome that I want. And that you start calling forth the way that you want it, and you'll start getting it. So on July 4th, if you got to meet with the relatives, and oh boy, the relatives, and they're going to be, bugging me about this, and they're going to be saying these bad things or whatever, change that and say, hey, I'm going to have a great time at the family outing. And then you will. So if you don't right now, you can create a great time by you calling forth what's the greatest outcome that I want. So back in our final step is ideal referral partners. And so how to do that. So first of all, start asking for, I want ideal referral partners that, give me my ideal clients. And so I would suggest that you write a definition of ideal referral partners and a definition of ideal clients, such as motivated, enough cash, good credit, et cetera, do what I say, all those things. Who's an ideal referral partner? Somebody who's well connected, loves giving me leads, is really out there all the time with people and talking me up all the time and giving me just amazing ideal clients. So that's who I want. So once you meet with them, that the first thing you can do is ask for help. Thank you so much for meeting with me. And I thank you for agreeing. If you talk to them over the phone, I thank you for agreeing, for being willing to help me. And the second thing is share your goal. And so it might be that I'd like to help 3 families move into into either buy or sell homes each month, or share your goal that for example with Tim it might be that he wants to do 10 mortgages a month, and so for us to just start really thinking about what is the goal, what is it that I want, and then to share it. Then when you ask for help, you already put them in a position to help a person, and that's you. And then you want to share your goal, share your ideal client. Here's who I'm looking for, this type of client in this neighborhood, or doctors. Maybe it's a doctor you're talking to, and that, I'd like to know your fellow doctors I'm looking for. And so your ideal client could vary depending on who your ideal referral partner is. And then ask for a personal introduction. So you don't want just a name and a number. You want a personal introduction, and then hold them accountable. So they say, oh yeah, I know so-and-so that here's the name and number. And you say, hey, would you please provide me a personal introduction? And so they could do that on the phone right then, or they could call them later, or they could email them, but provide a personal introduction. That way you get out of selling and into service, and instead really being able to help them with their needs. It is the magic bullet that'll take your business to a whole new level when you formalize this and do this on a regular basis. If you're saying, oh, I did that before and it didn't work, well, that's because you think that now it didn't work, and so you need to change your belief on that, because this one can get you all the business that you want, short and long term for your business. And then see them every 2 weeks. And so typically I recommend that you eventually work yourself up to 10 referral partners. You see them or at least contact them every 2 weeks, and that you'll be top grading them. Some won't be very good, and you'll be adding others. But with 10, you can work about 4 hours a day and make a six-figure income. And so with that, your success steps, listen to Success Unit 3, believe in your success at least 6 times. And I'll be emailing you Success Unit 3. Meet at least one new ideal referral partner this week. And then I'd love for you to get back to me and email me on, hey, I met with this referral partner and what went well with it. And if I can help you with any of this, again, you always contact me. Listen to this recording until you believe it. There were points in here that literally are the understanding of all life for you to have life play it the way that you want it, according to your music, according to your drum beat, and you can be on your lighted path to everything that you desire. Make sure you're doing your joy shop every morning. It's just critical, because that in essence helps you to change your thinking to thoughts about what you want and why you want it. And then contact me with any help that I may be to you. And with that, that ends our 3rd session. Again, we won't be meeting until the July 13th, so a couple of weeks, 10:30 to 11:30. I'll be sending you a recap on this and a reminder about the meetings. And I thank you all, and let me know just how great things are going for you and all the things you're achieving, and any questions, comments you have. And that's it for now. Love you all. Take care. Bye-bye.